Coming up on Sports Weekly, we've got an update on the CIF Southern Section playoffs for our winter sports team. Of course, we're talking basketball, Indian Springs girls. We've also got the Aquinas girls basketball team in action. We'll talk water polo with the Cajon Cowgirls, also in the CIF Southern Section playoffs. Soccer, Pacific still alive for a CIF championship in Division 7. We'll also recap San Gorgonio boys who had a big one against Riverside Poly in Division 2. So we'll recap the CIF Southern Section playoffs, but it's also springtime. It's baseball time, and it's opening day across the Inland Empire. San Gorgonio with a big doubleheader against Hillcrest to open up the 2024 season. All that and a whole lot more on this edition of Sports Weekly on IEMG, and it starts right now. And welcome everybody to Sports Weekly on IEMG. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in. We got some great highlights coming your way as we're coming to the end of the CIF Southern Section winter sports season. Right now we're in the playoffs. We're talking a lot of wrestling and basketball, soccer, girls water polo. And in this segment, that's what we're going to talk about, water polo and girls basketball. We had a couple local teams in the second round trying to advance, but easier said than done. We will start with, the Mountain Valley League champion, Indian Springs girls basketball, winning their first league title in school history. You probably heard about it last week on Sports Weekly right here on IEMG. But now the Coyotes in the playoffs and trying to make a playoff run. They won their first game in the second round. Things got a little bit tougher as they took on the Saints from Santa Ana. Let's take you out to #The Den, man. And they went all out. It felt like an NBA pro game with the lights and the big introductions for the Cowboys. And there is the Mountain Valley League MVP, Leah Granberry. Leah having a big season and a big game in this one. The Coyotes early on pushing the ball up the floor. Carlicia Halley finishes with the bucket. It's an early 4-point lead for Indian Springs. And then it's Halley with the drive and the dish to Alasia Stevens, the basket and the foul. Strong start for Indian Springs. But Santa Ana would turn things around to score the next 7 points in a row. Check out the bucket there, but the Coyotes answer with Nicole Weber finding Granberry, the MVP, for 2. The visiting Saints battle back, and they take the lead on this three-pointer. Cynthia Silva dials up from the outside. And then it's going to be Santa Ana in transition, pushing the ball up the floor, and Jasmine Solis with the bucket for the Saints. The Coyotes respond just before halftime. Halley driving the floor and feeds Stevens for another basket. But Indian Springs trailing by 4 at halftime, and they come up short in this one, falling 45-41 the final. So the Coyotes finish the year at 22-6 overall. Great year for Indian Springs, but their playoff run comes to a close in the second round. Also, Aquinas girls basketball going, we say on the road, but it's technically a home game for the Falcons. They were playing Burroughs from Burbank, but they were playing at Arrowhead Christian Academy this past Saturday night. Let's take you out there, and this was 2 AA second round game. Fourth quarter, the Falcons trailing by 14. Burroughs trying to keep that big lead. Elizabeth Amoroso hits the 3. The Falcons, though, fighting to the finish. Perrine Alou pushes the ball up ahead to Madeline Barker. Spin move, knocks down the short turnaround jumper. And then Amoroso spots up from long range for Burroughs and sinks another tray from the top of the key. You can see the scoreboard in the background. Time running out on Aquinas. The comeback would come up short. Burroughs, Miriam Foz gets the bucket on the second opportunity. The Falcons trailing by 20 at that point. Then the steal by Claire Hackney. She'll take it in for an easy bucket, and the foul there Aquinas' great season comes to a close in the second round in Division II AA, losing to Burbank from Burroughs, 64-38 the final score. The Falcons finished the year at 22-9 overall. So another great year for Aquinas girls basketball. All right, now we're going to talk some girls water polo, and the only local team that we had still alive in the girls water polo playoffs was Cajon in Division 5, and it was a thrilling week for the Cowgirls, playing several close matches. We'll start with, this one against Muir High School. It took place at Indian Springs, second round in Division 5. Cowgirls up by 1 inside the final minute of the match, and it would all come down to this. If they get the stop, they get the win. Sayla Johnson in the goal, and check out the great save. The biggest save of the game by Sayla Johnson. Cajon wins 10-9 the final score to advance to the Division 5 quarterfinals. Before we tell you how Cajon did in the quarterfinals against Paloma Valley, let's hear from the Cowgirls after that dramatic finish.
It was hard. We played them in preseason and tournament. We lost by 2, but we were down 2 of our starters. But we were really good on communication this time. Our defense is really good. Offense was a lot better.
Defense. My girls are killing it. They're getting real tight. They're doing what they need to do. And offense, I think we're doing a lot better than we did during the actual season. Really motivated. First time that Cajon's gone to CIF in a few years. Very proud of our girls. They're killing it. Played teams before that were in higher divisions. We have Ukaipa in our division. And, so we get really good challenges throughout the season, but I definitely feel that right now we are definitely playing at our top game, playing very good schools, neck to neck. I definitely feel like I have the talent this year with all the girls that I have to definitely go higher up in the division and going up into CIF. Some talent, obviously, COVID took away, building back our program, and I definitely felt like this year was the year that we were going to go back to CIF.
So a thrilling 1-point win against Muir in the second round. So Cajon advanced to the quarterfinals in Division 5. So they won by 1 against Muir, but in the quarters they lose by 1 against Paloma Valley, 5-4 from Indian Springs High School. Great season by Cajon. Some thrilling matches this past week. And congrats to the Cowgirls on a great season. When we come back here on Sports Weekly on IEMG, we'll hit the soccer playoffs. The San Gorgonio boys and the Pacific girls still alive for a CIF title. We'll be right back here on Sports Weekly on IEMG.